Hello, today we will learn about the classification of system. Basically, a system may consist of some physical components like hardware or an algorithm. Your system can be hardware, remember this thing, or can be an algorithm that computes the output signal from the input signal. Software realization, hardware realization. So we today talk about different classification of system. If we simply talk about a system, so if you remember that a system is an entity that process a set of signals input to yield another set of output or the signals. And what are the signal? Signal is basically a set of data or information. For example, a telephone or television signal or monthly sales of the corporation. So system will be hardware realization if there is some hardware component involved in between inputs and outputs. If there is some hardware, so it is known as hardware realization system. But if let's suppose there is some software that is taking some input signals and then it is generating some different sort of output signals, so it is software realization. Systems can be classified as linear, nonlinear system, constant parameter, time-varying parameter system, instantaneous or memoryless and dynamic with memory systems, causal or non-causal systems, continuous time and discrete time systems, analog and digital systems, invertible and non-invertible systems, stable and unstable systems. So we will quickly see what are the difference between them. Remember this thing, a system is a linear system if it satisfies the additive property. It's mean that if you will add two input signals, so it will give the output same as you will have two addition of two output signals. Like x1 is input signal, y1 is the output signal for x and y. Similarly, x2 is another input signal, y2 is another output signal. So if you add both of them inputs, you will be able to get the same output as you will add both outputs. So this is known as additive property. And this is not only one property that should satisfy for the linear system. There exists another property that is known as homogeneity or the scaling property. And it means that if an input is increased k-fold, like if x is input giving you y output, and you multiply this x with a constant k, and you also multiply the same constant with output, the it will remain the same. Just like if you have x output y, kx output ky. This is known as homogeneity or scaling property. So a system is a linear system that satisfy both properties, scaling as well as additive. So we can say this thing that if there is x1 that is multiplied by a constant k1 and there is some x2 that is multiplied by a constant k2, and we take the sum of both, that will be equal to the output signal that is having the same constant k1 and k2 multiplied by y1 and y2 and sum of both. So here we can see this example that we have to show that the system described by the equation is linear. So if you remember that the property that we should consider is that k1 x1 of t plus k2 x2 of t implies k1 y1 of t plus k2 y2 of t. It's we need to be equal. Now, this is the general expression, general equation that is given to you that describes a system. Now, if we have x1 of t, okay, so we can have that will be equal to dy1 of t over dt plus 3y1 of t. Similarly, if we have x2 of t, that is another input signal. So that will be derivative of y2 of t over dt plus 3y2 of t. Now let's suppose we have k1 and k2. This is the here we have instead of xt we have x1 and x2. Now I add both of them and I multiply x1 of t by k. It's mean I can also multiply this x1 of t here by k. So the k I will also multiply towards the here right hand side. Similarly here, if I multiply k2 with x2 of t, so here also I can. Now I simply write these over here plus k1, k2, x2 of t. And this right part. So with k1, this part. Now I am going to write this part. So k1 and then dy1 of t over dt plus 3y1 of t, and it is equal to plus k2 y2 of t, this part. Okay, I am getting this part over dt plus 3y2 of t. Now if we take here, we multiply k1 inside it. So another thing that what we can have k1 d1 of t over dt plus 3k1 y1 of t plus k2 dy2 of t plus dt plus 3k2 y2 of t. Now if we further solve it, we can take d over dt common. So here what we will have k1 y1 of t plus 3. And also here if you see, like, this is the further explanation, like we will have this part when we take that d over dt common. So till here I have solved over here, okay, this thing. So you will have no confusion that how we jump over this part. So now after taking d over dt common, we will have k1 y of t, k2 y 3 k1 y1 of t plus k2 y2 of t, and it is added over there. But this equation is the system equation with xt and yt. Therefore, when the input x1 of t, k1 x1 t and k2 are t, the system response is k1 y1 of t. Like here, after simplification, you can see this thing that we are getting the output. Consequently, the system is linear. This is another example for check how you can check that the system is linear or not linear. This is the linear and non-linear system generalization. That is also very easy. Like simple, you can see here in terms of journal, you have a constant that is increasing 0, 1 up till n. So the derivative is having starting from n, then n minus 1, and obviously at the end it will become dn minus n, that is 0. So obviously if it is 0, so it will become 1. So here we will have e of n, not the derivation. And this is equal to the b, that is constant, that is n minus m. And remember here in our case, we are mostly taking that m is less than or equal to n. Or if for ease, we will say m equal to n. So obviously here, if it is m, then it will be decreasing, and a time will come when m will become 0. So n, b of n, and then we will have no derivative. Like here, derivative is having the power f, and then here derivative will become 0. So here we have no derivative. No? Power of derivative m is 0. Now, time invariant and time varying system. System whose parameters do not change with time are time invariant, also constant parameter systems. A system with an input output relationship described by a linear differential equation of the form given below. So it is a linear time invariant system when the coefficients a and b of such equation are constants. And if these constants are functions of time, then the system is a linear time varying system. Okay, like if these systems are coefficient, or like these coefficients basically are the function of time, then it is time varying system. So here you can see that if the time input is delayed by t second, the output is same as before. Like you can see, so this is time invariance property. No difference. If input is delayed, the output is also delayed. Now, this is one of the example. Remember, when you need to check that the system is invariant, time invariant or not, you will apply the delay operation. No? Like whatever is t given to you, and you will subtract it something. Like if from the appearance, it is easy to say yes, this is time invariant. So, but how you can prove this thing? With capital T. So t minus 1 minus capital T. So this is to explicitly verify this thing, that the function y of t is equal to dt. So delay x of t by t. So what you will new input, you will obtain x2. And now after solving, you will get that if you apply the here, let me do it here for you quickly. I do it. Apply here and here y t minus t. Okay, that is equal to dt over dt. Maybe let's suppose this is the x t minus 1 minus t. Okay. Now, if you solve it, this is x of t. So d over dt x of t minus d over dt x of 1 minus d over dt x of t. So when you solve this here, you will get again, after applying the derivative over this, what you will get? You will get t minus capital T, because this is constant 1. So both, like in case you are getting the same output. So this is time invariant. If input is delayed, output also delayed. Then instantaneous and dynamic system. A system is said to be instantaneous or memoryless if its output at any instant t depends at most on the strength of its input as at the same instant t, and not on any past or future values of the input. Remember, this is instantaneous or memoryless, not on past or future values. Otherwise, the system is said to be dynamic, or a system with memory, finite memory, over past t seconds, and infinite memory. So, this is known as dynamic system, like AI system. This is the example. So, is this a system memoryless? So, they are saying memoryless. We have to check this thing, that it is having memoryless or not. So if you see by inspection, it is clear that system is depending on the past. But for the memoryless, we say this thing, it not depend on past or the future. So but it is here, it is depending on past t minus 1. When at t equal to 0, the output 0 depends on the time derivation of x of 1, a past value. Okay. So it is No, the system is not memoryless, because memoryless system not depend on past. But here by inspection we can see this thing, that it is depending on past, so the system is not memoryless. Causal and non-causal system. So causal, also known as physical system, is one for which the output at any instant t naught depends only on the value of the input x of t for t is less than or equal to t naught. Okay. So in other words, the value of the output at the present instant depend only on the past and the present values of input x of t, not on the future. Causal. A system that violates a condition of causality is called a non-causal or anticipative system. Okay, so t is less than or equal to t naught. Can be equal present also we'll use, and past, but not the future. So this is just they want to show you input output of a non-causal system and the causal output achieved by delay. So this is one of the example. If you see, is this system causal? So how you can check? By inspection, it is clear that the system output does not depend on future input. So the system is causal. Non-causal depend on future input. Continuous time and discrete time system. So systems whose input and outputs are continuous time signals are continuous time systems. Similarly, systems whose input outputs are discrete time signals are discrete time systems. And for the classification of signals, I have given you the video, you can check from the previous list. A system whose input output signals are analog is an analog system. A system whose input output signals are digital is a digital system. Invertible and non-invertible, very easy. Like if you are able to obtain the input x of t back from the corresponding output y of t by some operation, the system S is said to be invertible. Okay, like there are some situations when you are able to get the same input from the output. So this is invertible. You can get it back. But there are some situations like when several different inputs result in the same output. As in the rectifier, it is impossible to obtain input from the output. The system is non-invertible. Let's suppose there is a system 4 multiplied by 1, 8 multiplied by 4 multiplied by maybe 4, 8 multiplied by 2, and 16 multiplied by 1. So they all are giving you 16, 16, 16. So this is invertible. Why? Because you can never get the input again, because the output is same. So how you will know, but which one is your input? This one, or this one? So this is non-invertible, a system that is taking different three inputs, several different inputs, and giving you the same output. Now here you can see this is non-invertible. Y of t, x square of t. Here x is basically the convoluent. Okay, a convoluent function that we have. If we combine two bandwidths, so we cannot here we cannot get back the input. So this is non-invertible. Stable and unstable. So if every bounded input applies at the input terminal results in the bounded output, the system is said to be stable. It's mean if your input is having some range. Let's suppose you say your input is less than 10. So your output maybe follows some less than maybe 100. Okay. So this kind of system is a stable system. So like here you can see this example. This is very good. Like let's suppose x of t x square is stable. Why it is stable? Like if you have x, let's suppose here 10. So obviously x is 10. X square will be 100. So it's mean it is equal to y. So you can say this thing that if your x is less than 10, your y will less than 100. So there is some bounded input and bounded output. There is some limit. This is not infinity. You are able to tell this thing that there is some range that is having. So stability can be internal or external as well. So this system squares an input to produce the output. If the input is bounded, which is say this, so it will less than infinity for all t. Now stable, and there is an example, like they are asking you that the system is stable or not. So the system returns the time delayed derivative or slope of the input signal. The square wave is a bounded signal which, due to point discontinuous, has infinite slope at the corresponding instant in time. Thus, a bounded input may not result in bounded output, and the system cannot be Bibo stable. So here we can say it is Bibo unstable. And this is just the input output description. So the important thing is here, the first step in analyzing